Thank you for joining us today. We're going to talk about how to convert your Tableau server online and desktop environments to take advantage of the new user roles, creators, explorers, and viewers. My name is Carissa Chang. I'm the manager of the Global Support Readiness team at Tableau, which means I train our internal audiences to be ready for exciting new features like these licenses. My co-presenter today is Chengfang Zhu, and I'll let him tell you a little bit more about himself.
Hi, Carissa. Hi, everyone. Welcome to TC 2018. My name is Chengfang Zhu, Engineering Manager for Subscription Licensing and Packaging. I've been with Tableau for less than a year. I'm excited to share this feature with you, which is really part of the accomplishment my team had in 2018. Next slide, please. Before we get into the content of this session, I just want to share with you guys some related session we have. We have another session right after this. It's basically accessing your Tableau server user type needed for creator, explorer, and viewer. Here, we will give you an in-depth knowledge of how you look at your current user profile in your deployment and find out what is the right mix for your creator, explorer, and viewer. And we also have a session tomorrow that shares with you how you can graduate into Tableau servers after using Tableau desktop for a while. Next slide, please. So how does this session fit you? We're assuming you're getting this session that you already accessed your user need, determined your future group membership as part of working with your Tableau account managers, and you have get the right mix of creator, explorer, and viewer license. Also, since this feature is only, since migrating is only for site admin, we are assuming you are the site admin responsible for converting Tableau servers online or Tableau desktop. But if you are not, you are welcome to stay here and learn about this. Next slide, please. Before we talk about converting to robust license, let's take a moment to review the different licenses available and why it matters to you. At the top of our licensing pyramid is a creator license. Creator license is our highest tier. It provides a powerful suite of products for any data analyst. You will get the latest desktop, the latest prep, and the creator license for Tableau servers or online for complete web authoring. So what the creator gives you tailors to is really your data analyst, is your data champions who live and breathe data day in and day out. On the other hand, we also offer a Tableau Explorer. Explorer license is targeting for business users. It provides a set of self-servicing analytics capability for Tableau server or online. In this role, you will not get Tableau desktop, but you will get access to Tableau server by the browser and can connect to publish the data sources and be able to create shared content from there. You can also access collaboration features like commenting, data-driven alert, and subscriptions. Next slide, please. At the bottom is our Tableau viewers. The reason we developed this tier is because we strongly believe within any enterprise organization, everybody needs to access the data and make data-driven decisions. Tableau Viewer is tailored for that user cases. With Tableau Viewer, same as Explorer, you access Tableau service through the browser and can interact directly with the embedded content. You can play with the content, setting up some filters and all that. You can also download the summary data, access downloading features, and access the limited collaboration features. Now I'm going to hand this to Carissa.
Thank you, Chengfang. Today, we are going to cover how to upgrade and convert your Tableau Online, Tableau Server, and Tableau Desktop environments. Throughout the presentation, you'll see these same logos repeated on slides as a reminder of which product we're currently discussing. Now, across all product families, we'll be covering the same 3 basic steps to converting your environment. The first is to understand your license usage. The second is to convert to new licenses. And finally, to manage your users and licenses moving forward. Today we'll start with Tableau Server, the most complex upgrade and conversion story, and will give us a baseline to talk about our other products. Now, in the Tableau Server world, those 3 steps that we discussed 2 slides ago take this form. The first thing we'll talk about is understanding how site roles and licenses interact on Tableau Server. The second thing we'll talk about is how to upgrade your server and convert to the new licenses. And then finally, we'll discuss maintaining your licenses and your users in the future. In order to understand the difference between how legacy site roles and the new user role-based licensed site roles is to take a look at how they convert as you upgrade. You can see server administrators maintain the same role throughout the different versions of Tableau Server. Your publisher user will be converted to an explorer can publish. Your interactors will be converted to explorers. And the old viewer role that was highly restricted in its permissions is replaced by the new viewer role that Chengfang shared that has much greater capabilities to enable data-driven decisions across your organization. You'll notice in version 2018.1 only, there's a role called Read Only. The Read Only user is there to help organizations migrate from the previous restricted viewer role to the new viewer role with all of its capabilities. Now, we recommend that you convert from legacy roles to the new role-based licenses all at once to make sure you've unlocked all of your features for your users. But we recognize that's not possible in every organization to convert all at once. There may be reasons that you want to stagger your conversion over time. In order to do that, we've enabled the stacking of legacy and role-based licenses, and I'll illustrate what that means for you as a server admin now. These are the 5 different roles or capabilities available across all of our license types. There's the site roles of Creator, Explorer, and Viewer, the guest capability of anonymous guest access that's provided in our legacy core licenses, and the core limitation that's also present in legacy core licenses. Let's start by looking at a 16-core perpetual license. In the new site roles, that gives you unlimited Explorer users. These would have been labeled as interactor users in the past, but we'll continue referring to them as explorers from here on, and you'll also see them as explorers in the user interface if you're using Tableau Server 2018.1 or later, or Tableau Online. This core license also includes the guest user capability, and it limits you to install on no more than 16 cores of hardware. Now, if you were to add a new role-based license to the same server that had 10 creators, 50 explorers, and 100 viewers, these are the capabilities it would add. It would add each of those users, but it doesn't come with guest access, and it has unlimited cores of installation. When you add them together, here's what your environment looks like. You have your 10 creators, you have the unlimited explorers from your core license, you have 100 viewers from your role-based license, and you inherit the guest access from your core license, but you also inherit that 16 core limitation. Now later in your conversion, you can remove your legacy license and unstack them. When you do that, you'll notice that you are left only with the capabilities of your role-based license. This means you now have unlimited cores to install across, but you no longer have your guest access. Guest access is one of the reasons organizations have chosen to stagger their upgrade into the role-based licenses. Now that we've taken a look at how legacy and role-based licenses interact with each other, let's take a look at understanding the site role that each of your users will occupy. In the legacy Tableau Server and Tableau Online licensing, there were two types of site roles that would impact your users. The first is the individual user site role. This you can see from the Users pane as an admin on Tableau Server. This user is a creator on this particular site. The other attribute is the minimum site role for each group. This is the site role that all users are imported as when you first import them to Tableau Server, and this is visible from the Groups screen as an admin in Tableau Server. You can see here we have a group with each type of site role as its minimum site role: Viewer, Explorer, and Creator. When you are moved into the role-based licensing world, you'll have a new concept that helps you understand which site role a user will occupy based on their membership in each site. So let's take a look at an example Tableau Server with these 4 sites present: Sales, Finance, HR, and Training. Now we'll take a look at a few example users on each site to determine which license they'll take up. The first user is Anne. She's an explorer on Sales, a viewer on Finance and HR, and an explorer can publish on the training site. With these 4 site roles in place, Anne will use an Explorer license. This is because Explorer and Explorer can publish roles both use an Explorer license. Let's take a look at another user. This is Howard. Howard is an explorer on the Sales and Finance sites, a creator on HR, and a viewer on the training site. With these site roles on your server, Howard will use a creator license. It is the highest site license that he has across any site. In order to know what license role each one of your users are taking, you can visit the users page as an admin on Tableau Server at any time. Here you can see the max site role and the license level of every one of your users. You can also see the user licenses that you've used for each role. You can see, for example, on this server that we have 1,015 creator licenses and 449 creator users. The last thing that's important to understand on how users and user site roles and licenses work together on Tableau Server is what happens when a license expires and your users are unlicensed. In the new site role-based licenses, Tableau Server is smart enough to unlicense your users with the least privileges first and who have logged into Tableau Server the longest time ago. Let's take a look at what that looks like on your server. Let's say we have 100 interactors as a legacy license when we upgrade. In new site role terms, that's 100 explorers. Now when we upgrade to the new site roles, if we don't have enough licenses for this site role, Tableau Server will intelligently unlicense your users. So let's say we convert to a key that has 20 creators, 30 explorers, and 50 viewers. After we upgrade, you'll see that your server has 50 Explorer users and 50 unlicensed users because we don't have enough Explorer or higher licenses for all of our Explorers. 20 of our users that are currently showing up as Explorers are actually occupying your Creator licenses, and this is due to that smart unlicensing behavior that I just mentioned. One component of smart unlicensing is that Tableau Server will automatically use any available licenses you have at a higher site role in order to preserve access for your users. To end users, it should be transparent to them that they are using a different license type, and you as the admin can clearly see that your users are using licenses of a different site role and can adjust and apply new licenses in the admin UI. Now that we've covered how user site roles and licenses interact, let's take a look at how you manage users with groups in the new role-based environment. Today, you're used to using AD groups to manage permissions for users on Tableau Server. Some examples might be separating your sales managers from your sales team and the content that they can access. In order to manage new licenses, you only need to add another 3 or 4 groups to your Active Directory in order to manage all of the users on Tableau Server. These are your licensing groups. At a minimum, you'll need a Creator, Explorer, and Viewer group. If you plan to use the Explorer Can Publish rule separately, we recommend you create a 4th group for Explorer Can Publish. Once you have these groups, you can use them to manage both licensing and permissions on your Tableau server. As you can see, your permission groups are made up of a mix of users across each of the licensing groups. For example, your executive group has far more viewers who are consuming reports created for them, and less direct data analysts, whereas your finance group is much heavier in the creator roles for your finance data analysts who are creating those stunning dashboards and visualizations that executives use in decision making. By just adding these 3 or 4 new groups, you can manage all of your permission and content access on Tableau Server. All right, now that we've put together the user site roles, user licenses, and how you manage users, let's take a look at what that translates to and walk through an end-to-end conversion for Tableau Server. Step 1 in conversion is to prepare your users and groups. You'll do this by stopping any AD sync schedules to avoid bringing in new users during the conversion. Then remove any unnecessary users that have been imported into Tableau Server. For large enterprise organizations, this might include service accounts or users that have previously left your organization. We want to make sure we remove all of those before we upgrade so that it's an easier conversion for you as an admin. Next, unlicense any non-admin users and groups so you avoid any surprises in the unlicensing process that we mentioned earlier. And last, go into your Active Directory and create new AD groups for licensing users. You'll need 3 or 4 groups, depending on how you choose to manage your site roles. Step 2. Upgrade Tableau Server. You'll need to upgrade Tableau Server to version 2018.1 or later, because this is the first version that can take advantage of the new site roles. Step 3. Convert your licenses. This works the same way that adding new licenses to Tableau Server works today. First, activate your new license keys. Next, deactivate your legacy keys. Now, activating and deactivating your keys can be done in the user interface or via command line, just like they can today. And then last, restart Tableau Server. Restarting Tableau Server will update your license keys and apply them to your current users. Step 4 is to license your users. The first thing to do is import your new AD groups that you created for licensing management. This will automatically apply all of the licensing to your users across Tableau Server. Next, you can turn your AD sync schedules back on. And then last, remember, when you're adding new users to Tableau Server in the future, you need to add them to 2 different AD groups. Add them to the AD group for license management, and then add them to your AD groups for content permissions. That's it. We fully converted Tableau Server and unlocked the new Creator, Explorer, and Viewer features for your end users. Now I'll turn the presentation back over to Chengfeng to talk about Tableau Online.
Thank you, Carissa. Next slide, please. So in this short version for Tableau Online, which is much simpler than Tableau servers, I'm going to basically covering Tableau Online site roles, which is just basically similar as the Tableau servers, and Tableau Online site conversions, how to assign new site roles to users, and how to maintain users and the licenses. Next slide, please. So beginning with 2018.2 release, as Carissa mentioned, Tableau Online displays creator and viewer site roles for all sites, even those using legacy licenses. When you convert your online site, existing users will remain in the same site roles as they have today, as long as your licenses have enough capacity to cover all the existing users. Let's use the example, right? Next slide, please. Let's use this user conversion as example. Let's say right now you have 50 interactive license for your Tableau Online today, and you are converting them to 10 creators, 20 explorers, and 20 viewers. If you convert your site without preparing your users, you will not have enough explorers. You will not have enough explorers and above license to cover all 50 users. Some will be unlicensed, and in this case, 20 will be unlicensed. One thing to remember, the user we pick to unlicensed will be based on whether they are site admin or not, and their last login timestamp. Because of this potential unlicensing logic behind the scene, the very first step we encourage to do before site conversion is to figure out who should occupy those creator and viewer license, and unlicensing them and leave those who should remain as interactor, aka explorer, untouched. In this way, you won't have to reshuffling people around based on automatic logic. You should have at least one site admin who stays as site admin. This site admin will be the site admin explorer after the conversion, responsible for licensing users after the conversion. Site conversion. So how does the next slide, please? Site conversion. So how does your Tableau Online site get converted to new license? The answer is simple. Tableau customer service will convert your Tableau Online sites. Your Tableau, after conversion, your Tableau Online site URL will remain the same, and you will remain on the same geopod as you currently are. Once your site is converted, your site admin can assign creators and viewers site roles to users. For new creator users, they can see and use creator-only feature like dashboard starters and connect to data on the web. This is a short video we recorded just to show you how powerful this is as part of the creator license. Here you can drag and drop users. Okay. So next one is the maintenance. In Tableau Online, license maintenance is handled in the user page, as you see here, visible only to site admin. For each site role, you can see the number of users for each licenses over the number of licenses quota for each tier. In this particular example, since you didn't buy creator tier, you have 14 licenses for the explorer tier, but you only use 5. When you add new users or change user site role, the site role panel shows you which license seat each tier will occupy by showing you the lines in the site role drop-down to indicate the licensing levels. Now your Tableau Online site is ready for your creator use. Now I'm going to hand the last part to Carissa.
Thank you, Chengfang. For our last section today, we're going to discuss how do you convert Tableau Desktop to new licenses and how that unlocks Tableau Prep for you. Converting Tableau Desktop takes up 2 steps, which is a little simpler than server and online. The first is to upgrade Tableau Desktop with the new licenses, and the second is to go ahead and deploy Tableau Prep. We're assuming that you, as an admin, are in charge of upgrading and deploying Tableau Desktop and Tableau Prep across your organization using software deployment or scripting tools. The first step in your process is to upgrade Tableau Desktop. Users with a legacy Tableau Desktop key can publish to Tableau Server and Tableau Online if they're given Explore Can Publish site roles. This means that you do not need to upgrade all of your Tableau Desktop license users to Tableau Creator keys as soon as you upgrade Server or convert online. They can continue to use their legacy keys and an Explorer Can Publish site role to interact with your new Tableau Server or Tableau Online version. When you are ready to upgrade your users, here are the steps to follow. Deploy Tableau Desktop 2018.1 or later to your users with your deployment tool of choice. When you're deploying, use the return flag to deactivate your legacy keys starting with TD, and use the activate flag to activate your new keys starting with TC for Tableau Creator. Once you have upgraded and activated your new keys for Tableau Desktop, deploying Tableau Prep is simple. Your Tableau Creator licenses you've just activated include Tableau Prep. You can deploy using the same methods as Tableau Desktop, and your license is already activated by your Tableau Desktop deployment, so there's no need to script the activation of your Tableau Prep. Now your end users are ready to explore Tableau Desktop and add Tableau Prep into their standard workflow to unlock even more data-driven decisions. And that was it. Thank you for joining us today. We talked about converting to new licenses for Tableau Online, Tableau Server, and Tableau Desktop. We discussed understanding your license usage for users today and how their licenses will be reflected in the future. And we discussed managing your users and licenses moving forward. Thank you, and please complete the session survey from your session details screen in the Tableau Conference 18 app. Thank you for attending today. We hope you answered your questions, and please reach out to your Tableau account manager to talk about converting to your Creator, Explorer, and Viewer licenses for Tableau Server, Tableau Online, and Tableau Desktop.